Bumhole. Bumhole Podcast. Dayton Hamill rant yap sesh about snowboarders' iconic trademarks.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Bumhole Podcast. It is kind of like the Bombhole Podcast, but way shittier. This video is called the Pro Snowboarder Iconic Trademark Tournament, and we are going to be answering the greatest, most important question in snowboarding. What iconic trademark has the most aura of all time? And of course, you guys know how tournaments work. They will be crowned the king of aura. We want to know who has the most iconic trademark. A tier list video may be a better format for this, but I'm kind of a tier list hater. Even though I do make tier lists, you know, I'm anti-tier lists. I see too many of them on YouTube. We're going to try out this tournament style of video. I'm basing the winners of these based off of my own idea of what I think is cooler, what I think is more iconic, and what I think has more aura. So it's going to be very subjective ranting, obviously. If you disagree with anything I say, leave a comment and tell me why you disagree. Don't just say, I disagree with you. Say why I'm wrong, because I'm going to try to at least justify my placement of if somebody moves on, you know, and at least try to explain my logic behind it. So if you disagree with me, explain your logic for why you disagree. And everybody that's made it in this list, I'm a huge fan of, so there's going to be minimal hate in this video, but I might slip in a little bit of nuggets. But yeah, this video is a video about love, and we want to figure out who is the most iconic snowboard trademark. You guys know what I'm saying. Let's fucking go. Let's get started. We got Casey Willax's Grateful Yoga RV Lifestyle versus Zeb Powell's longboard.
That is fucking massive. What the fuck? Holy shit.
And I'm sure you guys know both of these guys pretty well, and you're familiar with these trademarks, especially Zeb Powell's long, tall board. Everyone's seen the clips. We've all seen it. It's mind-boggling. I would argue that it's more fun to watch Zeb Powell ride his longboard than his actual snowboard. Casey Willax, if you've ever seen one of his vlogs, you know about his whole Grateful Yoga RV lifestyle that he has trademarked. Casey, in terms of aura, in terms of iconicness, bro has convinced so many people to become homeless. Like, Casey has made thousands of people homeless, which I think is pretty cool, pretty influential. At least once a month, I'll be on a chairlift with some bum, and they're like, dude, having a great day, slept in my car last night, woke up, I've been riding every day for the past 3 months, and I live in my van. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's super sick. He's like, yeah, man, I'm a huge fan of Casey Willax. I'm like, dude, I already knew you were a fan of Casey Willax. If you are snowboarding and if you live in your car, you fucking like Casey Willax. I've tried the living in my car lifestyle. I only got a week in until I realized that I'm a furniture enjoyer. You know, you can call me a bitch for liking furniture, but I do enjoy it. So the whole car lifestyle thing is not for me, but I do respect the amount of people Casey has made homeless. Casey versus Zeb, the longboard versus a Grateful RV lifestyle. This one, there's a clear winner here. It's Zeb. The most popular video on Casey Willax's YouTube is not a video of him doing his RV, hippie, yoga, grateful lifestyle. It's Zeb Powell riding a super long and tall board. That is the most clear indication that the longboard has more aura. Zeb, congrats. You moved to round 2. Casey, I'm sorry. You were up against the top dog in round 1. That's just how tournaments work sometimes. That's just how the pickle squirts. You probably could have moved to like round 2 or 3 if you had lesser competition, but going up against Zeb is going to be pretty challenging. All right, next matchup is between some 1-foot boyos. Of course, we have Scotty Stevens and all of his 1-foot tricks, all of his not strapped in tricks. If you've seen Scotty, you know how mind-boggling and crazy he is at this, and it's definitely one of his trademarks. Then we have Jeremy Jones. He doesn't really do this much anymore, but he went through a whole rotational binding, shove it snowboarding stunt era. If you watch his Winter X Games 2015 part, you'll see exactly what I mean. Very cool stuff. I'm glad this happened. You know, it's pretty cool. The top comment, or one of the top comments, is This is without a doubt the future of snowboarding. And it's been 10 years since this video came out. And we can safely say that this was not the future of snowboarding. No one's fucking doing this, rotational binding shit. And the reason no one's doing it is I do not know how the fuck to make my bindings do that. We can all copy, or at least try to copy, Scott Stevens' 1-foot tricks because you just don't strap in. In almost every hike session, once you get bored of doing regular tricks, somebody always starts doing 1-foot tricks. And that's totally inspired by Scott Stevens. Jeremy, I like the creativity of it. It looks super fun. I would like to try it, but Scott Stevens and his 1-foot tricks are just more practical than rotational bindings. All right, next up we have Miles Fallon's Tame Dog versus Stan's Red Suit. This one is pretty easy to me. When I think of a Tame Dog, I think of Miles Fallon. When I think of a red suit, I think of like Spider-Man. If I think of a red suit in snowboarding, then I think of Stan. And straight up, a Tame Dog is just cooler. Miles Fallon moves on. Miles Fallon's Tame Dog moves on. Miles Fallon's Tame Dog beats Stan's red suit. Torstein Horgmo's headphones versus Arthur Longo going huge on side hits. When I think of Torstein Horgmo, I imagine his little 1980s style headphones on his head. The problem with Torstein and his headphones is consistency. If you want to be an iconic trademark, you got to be doing it all the time. And wearing headphones isn't going to be going huge. Going huge in snowboarding is like a cornerstone, and Arthur Longo has trademarked going big. I think you could definitely argue that Torstein Horgmo has definitely gone bigger than Arthur Longo, but Arthur Longo is going bigger on the smaller jumps. He's going big on shit that you don't have to build, that you can just find on the resort. It's like magical. Arthur Longo going huge is more aura than Torstein Horgmo's headphones. If you disagree, tell me why. All right, next up, we got probably one of my favorite snowboarders, my Finnish love. Probably one of my favorite snowboarders, absolute Finnish gangsta, Joona Seikkonen. And his trademark is wearing a San Francisco 49ers jacket and hat. And he will be going up against East Bumfuck and his sunglasses that you can take on and off, or like the lenses come on and off, the frames stay on. Both of these guys, I'm a huge fan of. I have glazed both of these guys publicly. I just fuck with their snowboarding. It's super fun to watch. This one's probably tougher for me, but I gotta go with Joona Seikkonen. This is why I am going with Joona. Let's go watch this Melter 3 video. First of all, I fucking love this video, and I think this is the strongest part of the video. And this fit simply goes, oh my goodness. You know, if an American was wearing this San Francisco 49ers jacket, it would go a little bit less hard. I just think the idea of a Finnish person wearing a 49ers jacket doing death-defying jibs it goes fucking hard. It's cool. And I'd like to think that he doesn't even watch American football. He just fucking saw this red jacket and copped it and then made it his whole personality. The equivalent to this is if like a really good American jibber was wearing like a random Finnish hockey jersey and absolutely killing it in the streets. I don't know why. I cannot explain why the San Francisco 49ers jacket fucking hits so hard being rode by a Finnish jib god, but it does. And as much as I like East Bumfuck sunglasses, I gotta go with the San Francisco 49ers jacket. Next, we have Shaun White's wide stance. Many people call him Shaun Wide versus JP Walker. I probably could have found a better trademark for JP Walker, but I just have his trademark as being shredded. Probably is not the best trademark, but bro is shredded. Shaun White's stance is a clear winner here. Anytime you see somebody wide on the mountain with a wide stance, you're like, that's the Shaun Wide stance. Trademarking a stance is pretty iconic.
Shaun White, Shaun White, Shaun White.
Next matchup is between Jill Perkins. Her trademark is redoing a trick for a grandma versus Dan McGonigal's he says, bummer, dude. These aren't trademarks. I just wanted to yap about them. I do think they are some iconic moments in snowboarding and maybe some lesser known moments that I want to talk about. So let's play Jill Perkins redoing a trick for a grandmother first. Huge front 270 disaster onto a concrete death ledge. I know every single one of you guys watching this video, if you tried this, you would just fucking die. It would be certain death, but Jill Perkins is her.
She just landed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but should we do it again?
She just did.
We'll do it again.
Do it for her. Or you could hit a long maybe.
So the filmer doesn't really capture this that well. That's my only critique. You know, you got to capture this better. But basically, what happens is a pedestrian grandmother is on the top of the staircase, and then she sees all the commotion, all the hubba. She's like, "What's going on?" And then they're like, "Jill Perkins just did a sick stunt down this stair set." And she's like, "Oh, really? Can I see?" And they're like, "Sorry, she just landed it." And Jill's like, "You know what? I'm going to do it for you, Mrs. Grandmother. I'm going to do this stunt so you can witness it."
I'm gonna do it for you. Can I make it real?
This is Jill Perkins.
I have no idea.
That's okay. I'm not a celebrity now.
Okay.
But I
You're
like to do
going
this
to
for
be.
fun. I hope not.
She does it perfectly twice. 2 to make it true.
The filmer should have panned back to the grandma for her reaction though.
This has only happened once, so it's not really a trademark, but I think she should trademark that. I don't even care if they're staged grandmas. Jill, in your next part, please bring some grandmas to the spot. I don't care if you stage it. Doing a trick for a grandmother, like doing it twice, it goes unnecessarily hard. Let's look at Dan saying, "Bummer, dude."
Good night.
Broke the back this time.
Oh, the back's fucked. Sorry, Reed. Bummer, dude.
Bro crashed Reed's bike and then said, "Bummer, dude." I have started saying this amongst my friend group, and bummer, dude, hits hard. I was playing pool with my buddy, and my buddy is like a way better pool player than me. He was just having a bad night, I was having a good night, and every time he was messing up, hitting the 8-ball in, totally scratching, I would just hit him with a "bummer, dude," and like bro was getting enraged. Hit somebody with like 4 or 5 bummer dudes, they're gonna rage quit. Bummer dude hits hard, but it doesn't hit as hard as doing a 270 onto a concrete hubba twice for a grandmother. Jill Perkins, you move on. Our next head-to-head matchup is between Young Dolly's Fitz versus Joey Fava as the Crab Walk King. Now, you guys know how I feel about Young Dolly. Long time Young Dolly glazer. His fits go hard. In terms of iconicness, they are up there. But the Crab Walk King himself, this shit just hits a whole nother level. So I think that this is the original post. I could be wrong, but this was just posted on Joey Fava's IG, and it blew up 500k likes. And check this out. Check this out. 10.6 million views. This clip is really cool, and I think it's because it like shuts up a lot of the old head negative Nancy's that are like, snowboarding's dead, it's all about spinning to win, it's not about having fun or being creative anymore. Clearly snowboarding is still about having fun and being creative, and that's actually what people want to see. This gets like tens of millions more views than any world record breaking spin. The message of the crab walk is super endearing for where snowboarding stands, I think, in terms that it's always going to be about having fun. It's always going to be about being creative. People would much rather see that than world record breaking spins. If we look at this purely on numbers, 10.6 million views, like Young Dolly is not even getting close to that. And I've been glazing Young Dolly for a minute. Let's Joey
Fava.
is gonna win this one. All right, now we move on to the other side of the bracket. All right, next up we got two rusty toothbrush guys going head to head against each other. Alex Stewart and his famous motorbike pull-in versus Tyler Corlton as a carve Chad. Now, of course, we've covered carve dads on this channel, but we have not covered carve Chads. And Tyler is a carve Chad. Look at that. Look at that. The jack-off carve. Iconic. Iconic. Fucking cool. Ryan Napton, carve dad, he is not doing moves as preposterous as the jack-off carve. This is total carve Chad behavior. Very iconic. This is just a video of him riding and it has 100k views. Fucking nuts for some California cruising.
Alex Stewart
Has done many of clips where he's either pulling in people on this motorbike or doing stunts by being pulled in by the motorbike. This is so fucking cool. All of his motorbike stunts are insane. He has perfected just going too fast. This is horrifying. That could kill you. Like, if your nose goes under that, you're just dead. As much as I love a carve Chad, as much as I like the jack-off carve, I think the clips that we've got from the motorbike pull-in is pretty iconic. When Alex was towing Zeb through like that little V thing and Zeb did like a threading the needle stunt with the motorbike, that was pretty dope. Motorbike pull-in, super cool, way better than a bungee or a winch. It moves on. All right, the next matchup is the Battle of the Shawns. We have Shaun White's luscious red hair versus Sean Strickland being the best jibber ever. Sean Strickland is easily one of my favorite pro snowboarders, and he's a pretty good fighter, former middleweight champion of the world, and days after a UFC fight, bro went snowboarding, and his trademark is, of course, being the best jibber ever. A lot of people in the comments don't understand what's going on here. They are just stupid, and they think he was either going for a 50 or a board slide, and he was just being indecisive, and that's why he fell. But actually, what Sean is going for is the elusive willy grind. He was trying to use the torsional flex of his board to lock into a back willy and do an NBD insane mind-boggling trick. Obviously, a willy grind is only a trick that you should try with trucks, but Sean's like, I don't need trucks to do a willy grind. I can use the torsional flex in my board because I'm the best jibber alive. And do you know what happens when you do NBD tricks? You take falls sometimes. So the trick is in the working. Even attempting a back willy is so like insane, and that's why he is the greatest jibber of all time. So versus Sean's hair, Sean Strickland is just straight up a better jibber than Shaun White. Let's play a stand clip.
Shaun White occasionally files his edges, and let me tell you, I can see why. Jib God. Still got
the back willy attempt is better than Shaun White's entire jibbing career, which is why I gotta go with Sean Strickland as the best jibber ever. Way more iconic than Shaun White's hair. All right, next matchup is between Fridge's Backpack versus Lucas Magoon for simply being him. And you guys know what I mean by Lucas Magoon being him. His presence, his aura, it's just cool. You know, there are so many snowboarders that have copied this whole style. I think when somebody envisions a snowboarder in their head, like a classic snowboarder, they probably think of somebody like Lucas. And he, like, just kind of has this representation of what snowboarding should be. Like, bro is just him. He's a swag style icon. Let's look at Fridge. Always wearing a backpack is tough. And he is winning every competition. He is a dominant force in snowboarding, and he wears a backpack which, like, for most people hinders mobility. You know, wearing a backpack is definitely a nerf, which is why it's fucking cool that he wears it all the time. Fridge is kind of like the Tom Brady of snowboarding. He's like the Tom Brady if Tom Brady wore a backpack. It has to suck losing to Tom Brady, but it would suck even harder losing to Tom Brady if he was playing football with a backpack on. And that's what it must feel like to lose to Fridge at, the rail jam while he has a backpack on, which I really like. He also understands the consistency of a trademark. In every single one of his clips, bro is in the backpack. He does street boarding, backcountry, he does it all, and he's always wearing his backpack. So he understands the consistency needed to be an iconic trademark. Torstein Horgmo can learn a thing or two with his headphones. Fridge would never be caught lacking not wearing his backpack. It's more of a pinpointable trademark, which is why I'm going to move him on instead of Lucas Magoon for being him. To all the Magoon gooners that are disappointed with this, I'm sorry, it's just more pinpointable of a trademark. If you disagree and you think Lucas should beat Fridge's backpack, let me know why. Make your own snowboard YouTube iconic trademark tournament, or just leave a comment below for why I'm wrong here. Next up, we have the matchup between Mike Rav and his psychedelicness versus East Bumfuck and his iconic self-filming. So Mike Rav, his snowboarding seems like it's on more acid every single year, and his snowboarding is just getting further and further away from reality. His arc kind of reminds me of Syd Barrett's arc. I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, and basically Syd Barrett started like the whole Pink Floyd sound, like super revolutionary music, but the problem was my man just got too weird, and he got too psychedelic and too acidy to the point where his bandmates weren't fucking with him. He wasn't even making music. His sounds made no sense anymore. And I think Mike Rave is going on that arc. Like, soon he's just gonna be like somehow levitating with like wires attached to him while like, in a hippie pose. And like it's just gonna be too far gone. And that's a future I see for Mike Rav. East Bumfuck self-filming, super relatable. I've been a street self-filmer, very extremely horrendous street clips, but I've liked going into the street and filming myself, and I didn't know anyone even did that until I saw East Bumfuck doing it. Super relatable, super cool, and East Bumfuck is gonna beat Mike Rav because Mike needs to return to reality. His path of this psychedelic snowboarding is going to turn into a Syd Barrett situation, in my opinion. Next battle is between Mikey
LeBlanc
Toboggan clips versus Zeb Powell in his gauntlet gloves. Mikey has a few trademarks. One of them is being old. The other is just doing ollies down massive staircases and gaps. And the other is doing huge ollies, being super old. And then his last and my favorite trademark is his toboggan clips. Riding a toboggan goes so fucking hard. I love the toboggan clips, dude. The gauntlet gloves are also really, really cool. The problem is Zeb has only done it once, so it hasn't really reached trademark status. But Zeb, please bust these out at X Games. Snowboard glove companies, you guys need to start making these Sauron-esque gloves because they go stupid hard. Salmon Arms, I think this is kind of up your alley, kind of in your lane. These Sauron gloves are way cooler than the Pokemon mitts you're making right now, just saying. So please get on it. I will buy a pair. But Mikey, I gotta go with you. The toboggan clips are extraordinary. All right, next up we have Jib Girl. Her trademark is, of course, Brat versus Ryan Napton, and his trademark is being a carved dad. This one is pretty easy for me. As much as I love a carved dad, Jib Girl's whole Brat vibe goes a little bit harder.
Some might say too hard.
There are, a lot of girls that copy Jib Girl's look. And let's talk about these bindings for a sec. I really want a pair of the Jib Girl bindings, dude. I think my mid stunts would increase a bit if I had these on my board. And, I know that this whole Brat summer type vibe that she has is something the ladies fuck with. And, I fuck with it too. Ryan Napton, I love your carves, but in terms of what's more iconic, you are not as iconic as Jib Girl. Jib Girl, you move on. Dennis Bonus and his boxing gloves / him just being tough versus Sam Klein's ski mask.
Holy shit.
Dennis has to win because he, like, wearing his ski mask is just a part of who he is. And he also does stuff like being jacked and wearing boxing gloves. I don't like to snake or do like anything disrespectful in the park, but if I was at Russia, wherever the fuck Dennis Bonus rides, I would make extra careful sure of myself that I do not piss him off while he is that jacked in boxing gloves and that fucking Russian. The boxing gloves go hard. Dennis's whole vibe goes hard. This next matchup here, you know, I could go either way. Spoiler alert, none of these guys are going to beat Dennis Bonus. You know, I'm going to go with Chloe Kim and her slut strands. She did not invent slut strands. She made slut strands popular again. She re-brought it into the mainstream. Chloe Kim doesn't even like them being called slut strands. She calls them beauty strands. And to honor that, I'll delete slut from this. They are beauty strands when Chloe Kim is involved. It's going to be Skylar and his snow skating. But like I said, I already spoiled this one. Chloe Kim and her beauty strands versus Dennis Bonus, and him being tough and him wearing boxing gloves is gonna beat Chloe Kim. We are on to round 2. Zeb Powell's longboard versus Scott Stevens' 1-foot trick. Just in terms of what I would rather watch, I would rather watch Zeb Powell on his longboard than Scott Stevens any day of the week. Miles Fallon's Tame Dog versus Arthur Longo going huge on side hits. Trademarking going big on side hits is cooler than trademarking a Tame Dog. Eunice Sekonen, San Francisco 49ers Finnish Jibber versus Shaun White's wide stance. I could go either or on this, but you know, if Shaun White had a wide stance and was wearing the Finnish hockey team jersey, I would have to go with Shaun White, but I don't know why it just hits so hard for me. The Finnish man in 49ers jacket is gonna win. Redoing a trick for a grandma isn't a trademark, it's more of just an iconic moment. Joey Fava has trademarked the crab walk king. Jill, if you start implementing more grandmas into your part, like I said, I don't care if it's staged, you will beat Joey. But Joey, you win in this matchup. I'm so sorry for this video, guys. This one's easy. Sean Strickland isn't even a snowboarder. He is a snowboarder, but he's not on Alex Stewart's motorbike pulling level. Fridge's backpack versus East Bumfuck self-filming. I could go either way with this. I think if I put this up to the popular vote, if we did this democratically, it would be Fridge and his backpack. The Toboggan versus Jib Girl's Brat. I think if we did this one democratically, I think Jib Girl would win. But, you know, my vote's for the Toboggan. Toboggan moves on. Toboggan versus Dennis Bonus. It's Toboggan for me. Alex Stewart and his motorbike pull-in versus Fridge's backpack. In terms of what clips I would rather see, I think it's Alex Stewart's motorbike pull-in stunts. But in terms of what trademark has more aura, is more iconic, it's for sure Fridge's backpack. And, you know, the democratic vote, the popular vote on that would definitely be for Fridge as well. Zeb's longboard versus Arthur Longo going huge on side hits. This one might be more equal, but for me, it's Zeb. It's Zeb's longboard. Bro rides a board twice his size and is phenomenal. Yuna, you got lucky that you made it to round 3 for just wearing a 49ers jacket. Joey wins here. We are down to the final 4. We got Zeb Powell and his longboard versus Joey Fava, the crab walk king. On the other side, we got Fridge's backpack versus Mikey's toboggan. The contest kid glazing ends here and now. riding a toboggan in the streets, being 50 billion years old and jumping off of a retaining wall while just attached to an actual plank of wood, for me, dude, that's gonna beat Fridge any day of the week. Old man respect, toboggan respect. Toboggan is such a sick trademark. It moves on. The Crab Walk King versus Zeb. For me, it's got to be Zeb. And this is very interesting, even though I completely already premeditated all of this. But we have two snowboard types as the most iconic trademarks of all time, in my personal opinion. Zeb Powell and his long, tall board versus Mikey LeBlanc's toboggan. I am going to post the democratic results of this after. I'm going to be doing that while editing this video. But for fairness, I didn't want to be influenced by seeing what people would vote. I think it will be fun to compare how my tournament turned out versus the popular vote. I think democratically, Zeb would win, but this channel is a dictatorship, and I like the toboggan clip a little bit more. I love anytime a gearhead gets pissed off. There are so many like gearheads out there that are like, dude, I'm not gonna jib today. I have my powder board. Mikey is fucking hitting handrails while strapped to a fucking toboggan. You can't make the excuse that you can't hit the park because you have a wrong board when there are people jibbing in toboggans. I think that the messaging of the toboggan clips is you could just strap a plank of wood to your feet and you could go out and snowboard. And I love that messaging. And that beats Zeb's fancy high-tech board, even though he is a god on it. I gotta go with Mikey's toboggan jibbing and toboggan clips as the most iconic trademark in professional snowboarding. Well done. I don't know if this video is going to be good or not. I'm going to be kind of embarrassed if one of these pros is watching this video. But no hard feelings. I like all of you guys. I am just a mid snowboarder that got into snowboarding when I was 16. And this is my opinions. Let me compare this tournament versus the popular vote that I posted on my Instagram. And I'll provide a little bit of commentary for that. What up, guys? Just got off work. So let's start with the top left section. I think this went exactly as my tournament went. Our opinions don't really differ much on the top left section. The bottom left, so East Bumfuck beat Yuna Seikonen right off the bat, which, you know, I can't even complain about. I can complain about Sean White beating East Bumfuck and making it to round 3. So Young Dolly beating Joey Fava, you know, kind of unexpected. I thought the Crab Walk King would pull through in the People's Choice tournament. But what's interesting is Dan McGonigal saying bummer, dude. Made it all the way to round 4. He freaking destroyed Jill Perkins in the beginning, destroyed Young Dolly. It was pretty close against Sean Wide. And then when it came to Zeb, he kind of just got his ass kicked. The other side, top right, Sean Strickland made it to round 3, so I do appreciate you guys. I thought he was going to go all the way just because of the meme of it. Believe it or not, East Bumfuck self-filming beat Sean Strickland. I think you guys are going to be most mad about my placement with Fridge because Lucas Magoon beat Fridge off the bat. Lucas kind of destroyed Fridge too, so I think y'all are going to be pretty mad that Fridge got into the final 4 in my bracket, but you know, that was just my opinion. Super proud of East Bumfuck. I love his self-filming. I'm proud of you guys for voting him all the way. Down here, I'm also very proud of you guys for, you know, making Mikey go all the way to the finals. Jib Girl lost right off the bat, so congrats, Ryan Napton. Dennis Bonus beat Sam Klein, and then Chloe Kim made it to round 3, which I didn't really expect. I thought Dennis Bonus and his boxing gloves would beat Chloe Kim, but then Chloe lost to the toboggan. The cool thing about this is this was the exact same thing as my finals. Zeb's longboard versus Mikey's toboggan. In the popular vote, Zeb won super easily. You know, I kind of did predict that, but the most fascinating parts are probably East Bumfuck making it super long, and shout out Dan. Bummer Dude, you guys know what's up. Dan, please say Bummer Dude more in your parts. I think that's what we really learned out of this 35-minute ordeal. Thank you guys for watching this video. Y'all have a good
I'm done. That's it for me. I smashed my knee that time. Cool stir.
Broke the back.
Get me some airtime tonight.
Broke the back this time.
Oh, the back's fucked. Sorry, Reed. Bummer, dude.